Hiya 3, happy Friday. I hope you've enjoyed this week of finding equivalent fractions and now you're understanding what equivalent fractions are. Today is our last lesson on equivalent fractions, okay? So you're going to watch the video, you're going to do the activity, the red, blue or the yellow, and then I would like you to complete the quiz, okay? The quiz questions are the same as the pre-assessment questions because I want to see what you have learnt from Monday through to today, okay? So that's the activities for today. So let's go through the video first. So, what are the equivalent fractions of 1/2? Help Charles see a pattern. Okay, so let's learn. This is 1/2. When the shaded part becomes 2 equal parts. Each part is a fourth or a quarter. So we know, like we've been doing, 1/2 can be split into 2 quarters. When the shaded part becomes 4 equal parts, each part is an eighth. Like we know, we can split it into 8 equal parts and have 4/8, which is another equivalent fraction. Okay? When the shaded part becomes 3 equal parts, each part is a sixth. Okay? So 1/2 is the equivalent to 2 quarters, 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6, and 1/2 is equivalent to 4/8. What do you notice? So you know yesterday, and I said I've guessed that the fraction rule is 6/8, and you had to find that, and I'll let you know how I did that. I'm going to show you that today. So what do you notice about numerators and denominators of equivalent fractions? Okay, so what do you notice when 1 goes to 2 and 2 goes to 4? What do you notice when 1 goes to 3 and 2 goes to 6? What do you notice when 1 goes to 4 and 2 goes to 8? So over here, 1/2 doubled is 2 quarters. 1/2, you multiply it by 3, both the numerator and denominator, goes to 3/6. Okay, 1/2 multiplied by 4 goes to 4/8. Okay, so if I wanted to work out 1/2 and multiplied it by 5, okay, does it go into 5/10? Well, let's draw our bar model and let's see. We got half, we got our 10 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, and also we know that because we know half of 10 is 5, so it's going to have to be. And if we do 1 times 5, we're going to get to 5. 2 times 5, we're going to get to 10. Number 1 rule, whatever you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. Okay? So, if we wrote 2/5 as tenths, how can we do that? So, this is quite clearly 1/5 because we've got 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we've got 2 out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so 1 times 2 is 2, 5 times 2 is 10. How about 2/5 then? What do I do to 2 to get to 4? We know 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 times 2 is 10. So we've multiplied that by 2. Okay, so 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4. Whatever you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. So 2 times 2 is 4, so it's going to be 4/10. And it's right because we've got our bar model here to prove it. Our fraction rule, our bar model to prove we are correct. Okay, so now we're going to find the missing numerator for here. So I look at the fraction and I go, okay, how many 3's go into 9? Well, 3 times 3 equals 9. So that's right. Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. So 2 times 3 is going to be 6. Okay, so we've got 6/9. So we know that this is going to be 6/9. Okay, and just to prove it to you with our bar model over here, just going to highlight them in. Okay, so we've got 3. That's 3 parts, isn't it? Okay, and then 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's right. 2/3 is the same as 6/9. Okay, so we've got 2 guided practices today. So find the missing numerators and denominators. 1/5, so let's shade in. 1/5, 1 out of the 5 up here, is the same as how many tenths? Well, we can do that by doing our 2/10 here. Okay, so we know 1/5 is the same as 2/10. We can also double check we're correct by doing 5 times 2 to the denominator, 1 times 2 to the numerator. Okay, what about this one then? 1/4. This is our 1 out of our 4. Okay, so how many parts of our 8 is equivalent? That's right, 2. Okay, so we've got 1/4 is the same as 2/8, and again we've times that for both the numerator and the denominator by 2. How about 1/4 then? Okay, well, let's do this without our fraction rule here. Okay, so what have we done to 1 to get to 3? We've times it by 3, haven't we? So 4 times 3 is going to be 12. Okay? So I'm going to move on to this guided practice now here. If you want to have a go at this one, you can do first, but I'm going to move on to this one over here because I've been talking for quite a long time. So find the missing numerators here. We've got 3/4. Okay? So what have I done to 4 to get to 12? I've multiplied it by 3. Okay, so 3 times 3 is going to be 9. Okay, so we know 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12. What about this one down here then? 4/8. What have I done to 4 to get to 8? We've multiplied it by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. We've got 6/8. Okay, we've got to find the missing numerators and denominators. So 5 times 2 is going to equal 10. So 2 times 2 is going to equal 4. Okay? How many 6s into 12? We know 2 lots of 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. Whatever you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. Okay? And what about this one? The denominator is more than 10, but less than 15. So it has to be in the 3 times table. Okay? So 3, 6, 9. So it's more than 10, 12, 15. Okay, so it's going to have to be 12. So 3 times 4 is 12, and 2 times 4 is 8. So we've got 8/12. Okay, remember, whatever you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator. So I would like you, there's a red task, there's a blue task, there's a yellow task. I'd like you to start with the red task. Okay, it's always good to get your confidence up. Do the blue task. Okay, if you feel like you can. And if you feel like you're really good at this, then do the yellow task. And then I'd like you to complete the maths assessment on equivalent fractions. I'm going to leave a comment box for anything that you could let me know how you, with any other comments, to let me know how you got on. Okay, good luck. Bye.